ready, Madam Clerk?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very good. We'll go ahead and call the regular meeting of the East Peoria City Council to order. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Decker? Here. Hill?
Here.
Mingus?
Here.
Sutherland?
Here.
Mayor Call?
Here.
All present, Your Honor.
Thank you. Please rise for the invocation and remain standing for the pledge.
Shall we pray? Heavenly Father, thank you for this day and every day that you give us, for this city, East Peoria, and for every city and community, and for those who live in them. Let us pray to the Lord. Loving Lord, we lift you to those who are suffering in body, mind, or spirit. So many people are facing all kinds of trials due to ill health, conflict, poverty. Please comfort those who are in despair and help your followers be moved with compassion to share your love. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very good. Approval of the minutes, please.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the minutes of the regular meeting held on May 20th, 2025 be approved as printed.
May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you. Motion carried. Well, tonight is a big night, folks. We got a couple things under communication. The first being a very special dedication for those that I'm probably sure everybody knows. This gentleman, Dick Williams. He's been a practicing attorney, I think, for over 55 years. Williams, 60? Okay.
53 in East Peoria.
Okay. Yeah.
Down
So
on the corner.
1972, right?
Right.
Okay. Well, Dick has, he was, for those that may not know, he was awarded what we call friend of the community in 2018. And he's made a lot of good contributions here. And he's been a good friend to all of us elected officials. And I think those that serve on the pension boards through the years, Dick represented the pension boards throughout the years. He's done a lot of things. But
Got 35 years.
yeah, and one of the biggest things that he does is gives back to the community, and that's what really this is about here tonight. Dick is joined by a special guest. She's an artist. We're going to unveil something here very special that will be on display forever here at East Peoria City Hall. Do you want to introduce Morgan, or you want me to introduce Morgan? Do you want to talk first, or you want Morgan to?
We decided I'd
Okay.
tell a little bit about
There
it.
you go, Dick. Fire away.
And all 5 of you gentlemen have been so kind to me through the years. So your gift of this moment actually brings me a lot of joy, even though it's not a big thing. But I had the pleasure of working with Dennis Triggs for years on trying to find a sculptor for the Levy District. And I went, me and the wife, Jane, she takes care of all my business. She's the one with the white hair. Anyway, she does my taxes, pays my bills, makes sure I'm not in trouble. And because of that, I could practice law. Anyway, I've practiced for 60 years, and 53 I've been sitting in that little house. But there's a minister named Schuler who said, bloom where you're planted. And so that's what I decided to do. And so whenever the Levy District prescribed limestone for I paid $80,000 and got my building made out of limestone. So I've tried to be a good citizen in that respect. I want to introduce a few people, and then I'll try to shut up. But my wife, she takes care of all. We met each other 62 years ago. She'd take me to the law library and make me study. Without that, I might not have made it through law school.
Yeah.
So I want to publicly thank her for all she does.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then my 2 grandsons, Ian and Alex, are Dick and Sonny's boys, and they both attended University of Illinois Alex just got his master's degree. And their mother, Sonny Williams, is a circuit judge, and she's in judges school down the street here.
Nice.
And she's also the president of the Illinois Bar Association. So instead of calling her Sonny, I have to say Your Honor now.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, she earned it.
And then on the rest of my staff, I have Michelle, who's my #1 assistant, and Carrie Bryant, who helps me every Saturday to keep caught up on all the things we do. My son Rich, he's been with me about 29 years as a lawyer, and my son Andrew does divorce work and criminal work, and he's been there, 15 years or so? And then my son Ben, history major at the University of Indiana, helps me with books and records.
Nice.
So I wanted to bring the face of the office to be seen by you guys.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah.
Violet helps.
It's all a family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I wrote out a long talk, but I'm not going to give it. But basically, I'm a Lincoln advocate, and Rob Cole explained that Lincoln passed through East Peoria to deliver his stand against slavery, drawing a line in the sand speech, and that was the commitment that Lincoln had all the way through his presidency, and he kept the Union together and was very kind to the defeated South. And our Rotary Club, I helped find the picture that's hanging outside, and actually me and Gary Ray Fool paid for it. But anyway, I wanted you to know how happy it made me that you accepted the bus and placed it where you're going to place it. And I've had a lot of cancer in my mouth. That's why it's hard for me to make this presentation. I went to visit with this Decatur sculptor. Me and the wife drove down to Decatur a couple of times, and I had numerous other visits, thinking I would use him to sculpture the bust of Lincoln. But then we went to breakfast in Delavan, and I saw Elsa's work, and she was there, and I told her at that time, I think, that I planned to give her the bust to the city. And she kept reminding me that that's what I was going to do, but it was hard for me to give it away. But then I went to church and they said it's more blessed to give than to receive. So I decided.
And here you are, Dick.
I better go along with that.
Yeah.
And Elsa, she still has a sculpturing shop in Peoria Heights, and her feminine touch, her work. And I'm not an artist, believe me, but I could see in that face of Lincoln's the touch of a mother. And John does good work, but I think she does better work.
Yeah.
So Elsa, you want to?
Yes. So this is Morgan Elser, and she's the artist, and she's going to give a little speech here on the young Lincoln statue, and then after she gives that, we're going to ask Dick, his wife, and Morgan to step up here, and we'll do the unveiling.
All right, sounds good.
Floor is yours, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Dick. You almost made me cry. All right. This piece, I wanted to do young Lincoln because I hadn't seen many sculptures of him. It's always the Lincoln with the beard. And I also wanted to do the one that was running the circuit from Springfield to Metamora. So this is a little bit of his backstory. And his official name is The Two Faces of Young Lincoln. And why two faces? Always an admirer of Lincoln and reading everything I could about him, I came to realize that he did have two distinct sides. Physically, of course, but emotionally as well. Physically, the left side of his face is very different from the right side. which is the case in all humans, but in Lincoln it seems a little more profound to me. Part of the reason, I'm sure, was him being kicked in the head by a mule in his younger days. The left side has a turned down mouth and a bit of a lazy eye, and there is a way I can show you that on this sculpture and show you the dramatic difference. His right side has a bit of a grin with a lifted eye, and it's very slight, but to me it was very obvious. Emotionally, one side of Lincoln's personality, he was quite a jokester, as well as a grand storyteller. He loved grabbing the attention of groups of people or just two friends around the cast iron stove at the Speed store in Springfield, or the post office in New Salem where he worked, holding them all in suspense for the ending of each wonderful story that he told. This was, of course, honing his orator skills for his future campaigns and eventual presidency. Lincoln also had a dark side, not dark as in bad or evil, but because he had a very tender heart. He would go into deep depressions for days or weeks at a time, and this always gets me, contemplating whatever situation hurt his heart at the time. He could not understand the cruelty that he witnessed to our fellow man or to animals. Can we even comprehend how deeply he suffered in his heart for all of mankind during his presidency? He was an avid animal lover and protected many defenseless ones from abuse, and always trying to reason with the owners about their actions. He also grieved deeply for the loss of his first love, which was Miss Anne Rutledge. He went into the timber for many, many days to be alone with his sorrow, and his friends were concerned, and they did go find him. Why young Lincoln? As I said, I wanted to capture the young man riding the circuit as a new lawyer out of Springfield, all the way to the courthouse in Metamora, which I know well because I went to school in Metamora all 12 years. He passed through many small towns, Tremont, Pekin, East Peoria, Washington, and Delavan, where I used to live and where this sculpture was created. As I searched for photos of young Lincoln, there were very few. Of course, that fueled my desire to sculpt my rendition of young Lincoln. And as a final note, these are my opinions, taken from acquired knowledge by reading about our 16th president of these United States. May he rest in peace. I hope this sculpture speaks to you as it has to me. Thank you.
Thank you. And I just, as we have you guys come up here, I just want you to know personally, I share a birthday, and growing up here in the land of Lincoln, I'm a little bit older than, and things have changed, but I will tell you, due to the fact that we shared a birthday, Lincoln's birthday used to be a state holiday, and I never went to school through my 12 years on my birthday. But nonetheless, I proudly display a picture of him in the People's Office. I mean, that, to me, he's one of the greatest presidents of all time, and I don't think you'll have the qualities of a man like that probably ever sit in that office again, sadly. But we so graciously accept this, and it will be proudly displayed forever in East Peoria City Hall. So with that, I'd ask you guys to step up here, and
All right.
I'll let you unveil it.
Thank you.
And if you guys want to take a picture, feel free.
You know, Lincoln was once asked, he said, if I was two-faced, why would I wear this one? Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
All right, you want to hold the other side of it? Sure. And just up and over.
There you go.
Well,
Now, I would like to point out, I'm not guys have seen this yet. Maybe Robert did show it to you, but we had a new plaque put on the base here, just to point out, give you credit for your work, and then you guys credit for donating it to the city. So.
And if I might show you how to see the two different faces of Lincoln. If you take a piece of white paper, all I have is this, but if you put it right here, remember his personality is a jokester, but then also very, very sorrowful. You will see a little slight grin on that side. You have to get close to see it. But if you go on this side, the mouth is turned down and the eye, he has that lazy eye that shows his split personality as well as physically different. Again, my rendition.
Well, thank you guys so much. We
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah. Get out of that picture. Huh? I might be.
And you guys feel free. I always tell our guests, you're not obligated to stick around if you have other plans. But hey, Dick, you're going to be in our prayers. God bless you and your family. Yeah. All right. I don't doubt that. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate it. Very good. I do have one proclamation here this evening. Whereas each June our nation lifts its sights to the flag that has watched over us since the days of our founding. In those broad stripes and bright stars, we see the arc of the American story, from a handful of colonies to 50 states, united and free. And whereas when proud patriots took up the fight for independence, they came together under a standard that showed their common cause. When the wounds of civil war were still fresh and our country walked the long road to reconstruction, our people found hope in a banner that testified to the strength of our union. Wherever our American journey has taken us, whether on the unending path to the mountaintop or high above into the reaches of space, Old Glory has followed, reminding us of the rights and responsibilities we share as citizens. And whereas we celebrate that legacy and we honor the brave men and women who have secured it through centuries of service at home and abroad, let us raise our flags high from small-town storefronts to duty stations stretched around the globe, and let us look to them once more as we press on in the march toward a more perfect union. And whereas to commemorate the adoption of our flag, the Congress, by joint resolution, approved August 3rd, 1949, as amended, designated June 14th of each year as Flag Day, and requested that the President issue an annual proclamation calling for its observance and for the display of the flag of the United States on all federal government buildings. The Congress also requested, by joint resolution approved June 9th, 1966, as amended, that the President annually issue a proclamation designating the week in which June 14th occurs as National Flag Week, and call upon citizens of the United States to display the flag during that week. Now, therefore, I, John P. Call, Mayor of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, do hereby recognize June 14, 2025 as Flag Day in the City of East Peoria, and the week beginning June 8, 2025 as National Flag Week, and urge all citizens to observe Flag Day by displaying the flag of the United States of America. And it couldn't be a more fitting proclamation than this evening. It's all tied together perfectly. So, all right. Madam Clerk, I know we have on the agenda a bid opening for city-owned surplus real estate. Did we receive any?
We did not receive any, but Your Honor.
Did not receive any. Very good. Okay. With that, public comment. Anyone wish to address the council on an agenda item? Please step forward. I'm seeing no one. Commissioner Hill, I'll turn it over to you, sir.
Okay. Mr. Mayor, I move to adopt a consent agenda consisting of items numbered 1 through 3. Item number 1, adoption of resolution number 2526-017, resolution to approve payment of the scheduled bills listed on schedule number 2 in the amount of $1,574,036.50. Item number 2, adoption of ordinance number 4858 on second reading, an ordinance authorizing a special use for a drive-through business on property located at 111 West Washington Street in the city of East Peoria, Tazewell County, Illinois. Item number 3, adoption of resolution number 2526-011 on its second reading, resolution authorizing a contribution to Peoria Area Convention and Visitors Bureau Discover Peoria as listed on the agenda for this meeting to be considered by omnibus vote.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I move you that items numbered 1 through 3 listed on the consent agenda be hereby approved and adopted, and the items number 2 and 3, having been read once by their title and have laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection, be adopted as presented.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Mingus. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting, aye, Your Honor.
Thank you, motion carried.
Your Honor, I have only 3 items tonight. So, be it resolved by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, that resolution number 2526-013, hereto attached, a resolution accepting the lowest responsible bid for residential demolition contractor from Jimax Corp. be approved. Mr. Mayor, I move you that this resolution number 2526-013 be accepted on first reading as read by its title and be laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker.
Well, we have our demolition contract come up every so many years. In this example, this contract is 2, but usually there's an allowance for another year. But there was 3 contractors. Jimax was one of them, and Jimax come in as the lowest responsible bidder against, there was 3 different asks: structure, cost, accessory structure, and emergency demolition. So they were the cheapest of the 3. It's price per square foot. They had $6.90 per square foot for structure and accessory, and emergency was $9.30. The others started at the structures at $9.50 and $17.23. So quite a bit higher. Jimax has been our demolition contractor for several years and has been proven to be a good partner in this space when we've needed them for especially emergencies, as we can't account for in those structures that we've had to take them down. So the contract here is for starting July 1st through June 30th of 27. And I lost, I guess there isn't a price. That was the price per square foot. So that's what we have in front of us. It was a good partner in this space, and so they were the lowest responsible bid.
Very good. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting, aye, Your Honor.
Thank you, motion carried.
Be it resolved by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, that resolution number 2526-014 hereto attached. Resolution approving Laserfish software licensing renewal for the city with ICC Community Development Solutions be approved. Mr. Mayor, I move you that this resolution number 2526-014 be accepted on its first reading as read by its title, be laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Mingus.
This is a business necessary. We use Laserfish for our document and storage and handling. And what's unique about this particular offering, or who we can buy it from, in this particular case, ICC Community Development Solutions. The software company has I don't say weird, but it has a licensing model that only allows certain vendors to do it, so we're limited on where we can go. But in this case, the price is $15,324.50, and we need it to run our business.
Very good. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting, aye, Your Honor.
Thank you. Motion carried.
And one more, whereas the city clerk is from time to time temporarily absent from City Hall and therefore unable to perform the duties assigned to the city clerk. And whereas in order to allow performance of the duties assigned to the city clerk when the city clerk is absent, it is in the best interest of the city to appoint an employee to the city to serve as deputy clerk. Now therefore be resolved by the council of the city of East Peoria, Tazewell County, Illinois, that Lisa Pickerel is hereby appointed as deputy city clerk with authority to fulfill the duties and responsibilities of the city clerk when the city clerk is absent. Mr. Mayor, I move you that this resolution number 2526-016 be adopted as presented.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker.
Well, as it sounds, we are having, we're doing cross-training, I don't say cross-training, we're doing backfill. We're covering, in the case of Madam Clerk's not here, we've got a deputy clerk that will step in and do the job.
So for those that may recall, Jill always filled in when Morgan was absent. So I was ribbing Lisa a little bit this morning as staff. I said, man, you better work these commissioners over. What happens if this motion fails? In all seriousness, though, thank you, Lisa, for stepping up. We appreciate it. So, any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting, aye, Your Honor.
Thank you. Motion carried.
Mr. Mayor, that completes it for me tonight.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Commissioner Decker.
I have nothing, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Sutherland.
I have nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Very good. Commissioner Mingus.
One item tonight, Your Honor. Resolution number 2526-015. Be it resolved by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, that resolution number 2526-015 here to attach to resolution approving a collective bargaining agreement between the City of East Peoria and the International Association of Firefighters Local Number 1498 for a period beginning May 1, 2025 and terminating on April 30th, 2028 be approved. Mr. Mayor, I move you that this resolution number 2526-015 be accepted on its first reading as read by its title and be laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you. Commissioner Decker.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker. This is exactly as it says. It's a 3-year collective bargaining agreement with the fire union. The fire union, the chief and I started working on this at the end of January, had quite a few good meetings. The contract is pretty mature as far as the language goes. There's really only, other than updating the contract to reflect city policy, there was some cleanup language on overtime. Other than that, our conversation was pretty much centered on wages. The wage increases, it's a 3-year contract, wage increases over the contract are 3%, 2.5%, 2.5%. We also did increase this, the firefighters are on a 7-year step, which means it takes them 7 years to get the full base. The beginning steps of that were low for an industry standard, so we did increase those steps a little bit to try to become a little more competitive when we come to recruiting and retaining new firefighters. So it's a 3-year agreement, 3, 2.5, 2.5 with some language changes. Most of them are city policy, residency, some things on insurance. I've said this before, this is the really second contract. We did a wage reopener. Fire union, we've got a couple members of them, of the fire department back there. They're always professional. They're always, I mean, obviously they have what they want in the negotiations, and the city has what we look at, and sometimes those don't line up perfectly. But I really appreciate the fire union and how they go about their negotiations, and we've got a good professional working relationship. We always have. I hope that continues, but this was par for the course when it comes to that. We had good discussions, didn't always agree, but came to an agreement that I think is fair for both sides. So I appreciate that out of them. Appreciate the mayor was part of those, especially toward the end of the conversation, and I believe the process worked exactly as it should have.
Very good. Any discussion?
I'd like to say, Mayor,
Yeah.
first of all, I am going to support this tonight. I'm happy of all the work. This is obviously not an easy process, and I think when Commissioner Mingus spoke about the how good of a relationship it is. The relationship goes back a long time, and it really, when you can see some labor groups being more contentious, just full disclosure, I was part of the organization for a long time. The firefighters have always taken their role in trying to be good stewards for the community and just doing what they could. I remember 2013, 14 when finances were really tough. And it is nice to have an organization that is willing to kind of look past, what can I get more, so what's best for the community. I want to take this opportunity just to talk a little bit about it. I don't know if the public understands completely, but man, we have a great department. And I've not only been on the East Peoria Fire Department, I was on Pekin Fire Department, I've been with others, and I'm going to start another one here at the end of this week. But I can't say enough great things about East Peoria. It's always been thought that 90% of your calls are EMS. Well, that's not true. And a gentleman reminded me once of 100% of your calls are EMS. 10 to 15% happens to be fire. And EMS is something that East Peoria has always excelled in. And this goes back to Chief Brewer pushing it a long time ago when other people did not want it. But East Peoria became ALS, and that's so important because I believe, not saying anybody's less intelligent than not, but I believe it forces a level of intelligence to come into the community that I think is important. There aren't a lot of fire departments in the area that operate their own ambulance. There's Morton Fire Department does, Bloomington and Normal, but otherwise it's us that is the transporting. But besides that, we're also totally ALS. All of our vehicles are ALS, and that, I think it was always said when we went ALS that we were the first one south of I-80. I never personally sought that out to see if it was true, but I do believe it because I didn't know of any others that were totally ALS. What that means is even if an ambulance is busy, when the fire engine shows up, they have all the capabilities that are in that ambulance that show up to the scene. So I say that because of the importance. And I know that we've struggled recently retaining people, holding on to people, and I appreciate the effort to raise those beginning salaries to try to help that out. But sometimes the ambulance that stipulation can be rough, but I think that it's important because look at the guys back here, man. I trust them. I trust them with my life, with my family's lives. They are very, very good at their job. And I hope the people of East Peoria recognize that not all communities have that. And not all communities are as supportive of their fire department, of their police department, public works, as East Peoria is. So I'm proud of them. Thank you for all your effort on this, and I'm happy that this is moving forward.
Very good. Other discussion?
No, I'd just like to say, it's already been said once, but we went through this a couple times in several different unions too. And I do appreciate the non-contentious and working to find common ground for the best of everybody. So that has been with this union, with this group, again, repeated more than once since we've been in office. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. Anything you want to add there, Commissioner, before I make some remarks?
Nope. Mayor, if I might, yeah. I forgot to thank the chief also. He was very involved as well. So I don't want to leave him out.
I wasn't going to embarrass you, but I was getting ready to do that.
He wasn't able to be here, so I also want to thank Chief Zimmerman. It definitely was a team effort to get it across the finish line.
Yeah. I just want to say, a lot of good things have been said, and it's not just good things, it's facts. First of all, thank Commissioner Mingus, thank Chief, and thank the local 1498. Everything that the commissioners have said up here is absolutely fact. It's true. And this goes back decades. But for those of you that have never had to utilize that service, I can promise you it's second to none. And if your life depended on it, we know they'll come through for you. So I'm super supportive. I appreciate all the effort that went in this. It was a good set of negotiations like it has always been historically. So this is no different, and appreciate everybody's efforts to bring us right here on this floor tonight. So I'm ready to support it. That, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you. Motion carried.
That's all I have tonight, Your Honor.
All right, very good. Thank you, Commissioner Mingus. Anyone in the audience wish to address the council on a non-agenda item? Please come forward. Nope, seeing no one. Comments from the council. Commissioner Decker.
Been debating all evening whether I was going to say this, but I'll talk about Lincoln for a moment. There's always been a rumor where I live. The house across the street was a bed and breakfast a long time ago, and the rumor was that Lincoln stayed there. And I mean, it's a pretty well-known rumor. A lot of people know it. So a few years ago, my wife and I went to Tazewell County courthouse. We went downstairs, started looking through the records just to see what we could find out about our property. Well, John Ackerman happens to be a big Lincoln fan, and I mean, he knows all the history with Lincoln. He came downstairs, he was talking to us, and we told him that story, and he went over to a map and showed, it was a map of when Lincoln would have been alive and practicing, of how the roads were. And the road that he would have taken from Metamora to Pekin, he said back then it may have taken them overnight. So that's perfect. It's right in the middle of the two places, so it is very likely. So we were always thinking about, trying to look into Historical Society or see if we could find anything to it. It's not our house, it's the Newcomb's house, but it's still really interesting. Since then, I've just, really admired President Lincoln, and I'm so thankful for Mr. Williams and just the sculptor to do this, and now it's going to be in our city hall for forever.
Yeah.
That's all, Mayor.
Very good. Thank you. Commissioner Hill.
I think Commissioner Decker just wants to have a sign that says Abraham Lincoln slept next door to this house. But one
That's a good
thing
idea.
I've got, and you guys get tired of hearing, but it's a big day this Friday. Unfortunately, the weather is not looking ideal, but the farmers market starts this Friday. And we have an unbelievable number of vendors that have signed up and come forth this year. A great diversity for everything from some meats to bakes to goods. And again, our Crooked Row Farm, I believe I've had discussions with so many people I forgot, but it really looks like if everybody shows up, that was always a problem. We got a large group of good vendors, so I encourage you. Hopefully the rain will hold off. It's I don't know if it's 60-40, but Fridays 4 to 7. So we'll be out here in the Levee District. Looking forward to getting some traffic, get the word out. If you can't make it, you get the word out, and these vendors won't come back if we don't get people walking through there. So that's it. Starts this week through the end of August.
Very good. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Sutherland.
Yes, sir, I have a few things I need to get off my chest. I'm still collecting flags down at the store. I know it's Flag Week. I announced this like 2 months ago, and I think the last count was I've received approximately 125 flags so far. And late September or October, the Boy Scouts have a jamboree camp, and they have a big ceremony where they do this, and they earn their badges and stuff. So if anybody has any flags, dispose of them right. Bring them down to the hardware store, and I'll make sure the Boy Scouts get them and burn them correctly. Garbage cans, 6 feet apart when you take them out to the street, and the lid opens toward the street. I stopped by the other day, and we have a new garbage guy, and he's struggling a little bit, learning everything and trying to keep up with what Cole did and stuff. And I want to make it as easy on him as possible. So make sure your garbage cans are pretty much off the curb, facing the street, 6 feet apart. Flushables, here we go again. Flushables aren't flushable. Don't flush them down your toilet, please. They cause problems in our plants. And just remember, I mean everything that you flush or put down the drains of your home ends up in the Illinois River. So if there's chemicals, medicine, that kind of stuff that is not extracted by the city and stays in the in the water after it dissolves, that's it. So please dispose of everything properly. I'm not much of an internet person. People that know me know that. But I do like to browse every once in a while. And first thing that I opened up the other day was there was an announcement by, the Journal Star wrote an article. I believe it was a Journal Star a name that I saw at the top, and said that 90-some counties of the 102 counties in Illinois were sanctuary counties. And I disagree with that. Somebody Tazewell County is not a sanctuary county. The downstate counties, the more hillbilly they are, the less of a sanctuary county you'll ever find. And I'm going to say this, the governor, if I'm not mistaken, put out a moratorium on anybody in the legal profession, county, city, anywhere in the state of Illinois, cannot help out ICE whatsoever. I don't know if I will get in trouble or not, but if anybody, I don't care if you're black, white, Mexican, Chinese, male, female, fat, skinny, if you're here illegally and the ICE is looking for you because of crimes and you can't say anything to ICE, give me a call. I will meet you for lunch. I will meet you for breakfast. I will get your information, and I will directly give it to ICE myself. And anybody who wants to get a hold of me, my telephone number is 472-4733. Call me. Okay? I'm done.
Very good. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Mingus.
It's always hard following Commissioner Sutherland.
Someone's got to. Might as well be you.
Speaking of the great things our fire department does, tomorrow from 1 to 4 at Central House, they'll be doing car seat checks or car seat installation. So if anybody wants to get their car seat checked or installed, go ahead and stop down there from 1 to 4. That's all I have.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner. So Commissioner Sutherland and I, we typically meet for lunch the Monday before the council meeting. So he gave me an advance warning that he was going to make some comments, which rightfully so. I understand his frustration, and it was a little alarming to see Tazewell County listed as a sanctuary city. But I wasn't as surprised as the commissioner, because Illinois state law, and anyone can look it up, pretty much ties the hands of any law enforcement, ties the hands of any municipality from entering into an agreement, contract, or anything of the such with any federal agency when it comes to illegal immigrants. However, as elected officials, I'm 100% behind what he stated, in that we all raised our right hand, and either you swore or affirmed to support the United States Constitution. That's part of your oath of office. And for some reason in Illinois, they like to pick and choose at the state level what part of the Constitution they elect to support. We don't work that way here. I don't work that way. Never have. I swore an oath when I went into the military. I swore an oath when I took this office. And anybody that knows me knows I'm a man of my word. So I will honor my oath. East Peoria, I think, has made itself clear on where we stand, what position we've taken here in our own community. But I'm going to leave it right here, because I told the commissioner there's a lot of things I'd love to say on this topic, but there's also a time and a place to do so. And I didn't want to do it tonight, but I'll leave you with this. The security and sanctity of our nation is much more important to me, John P. Call, than it is has anything to do with the governor's political agenda. And whatever he's got going on between him and the President of the United States, he needs to keep his little opinions to himself and understand the position that he's placing this state in. And it's not a good position. And to me, public safety has always been the #1 priority in this community. And I go back to what I said, the security and sanctity of our nation includes the community of East Peoria. And we have an obligation to keep our people safe. And we'll continue to do that. no matter what anyone else thinks. So with that, I'll wrap it up. Seek a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we adjourn until Tuesday evening, June 17th, 2025 at 6 p.m.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call?
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you. We're adjourned until we meet again.